Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Ande says the economy's not doing as good as the president says. She and I will discuss that. She's also got the rundown.
Sam, for many people, their biggest bill every month is that for drugs, for medicine that they badly need. Therefore, a lot of people have gone to the internet. What's wrong with that, if anything? Are they now criminals? Today we talk to Keith MacDonald from the Board of Pharmacy. And then as we talk about public employees holding office, we talk to one. Jason Geddes joins us. Will he resign or will he run again? Sam?
Sounds like a hot show. Plus on the pundit panel, Bob Crowell, Paul Enos, and John Gwaltney. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Keith MacDonald is the executive director of the State Board of Pharmacy, and boy, do we have lots to talk to you about. Okay.
Thank you for being here this morning.
Sounds frightening.
Well, I don't think you should be frightened, but I'm curious. You know, a couple of years ago, I went down to Yuma, Arizona, crossed over the border, and purchased drugs that would have cost me $3,300 for $300. The thing that was even more infuriating was that some of these drugs were 2-for-1s, and the other thing that was infuriating was, despite all the protestations from politicians about how you couldn't be sure that these were the real things, they were all made in the USA and shipped to Mexico. Is this right?
Are you sure that's the case? They were made in the USA?
Yes, I took the, it was all stamped on the boxes. They were the same companies that manufacture them in this country.
I can also have Mexican firms stamp USA, made in USA there, as well as manufacture the pills for you. So you need to be real sure.
Well, I took the drugs to the various doctors that had given me the prescriptions and asked them if they were appropriate and okay to take. And the response from the doctors were, yes, most of our patients go to Mexico to get their medicines.
Good. They save money then.
They save lots of money.
On the other hand, I have a friend who found he could get his cholesterol medicine over the internet from Canada a lot cheaper than he could get it here. And in 3 months, he was in a lot of trouble because it turned out that the drug wasn't what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true also. Yes, you have no guarantee unless there's an FDA-approved drug manufactured in any country, which it can be, approved by the FDA and re-imported by the manufacturer, which is authorized by them, that it's not a counterfeit or it's not a diminished or an altered, adulterated drug or an altered drug. So it's kind of a crapshoot, to be honest with you, what's out there in foreign countries.
Well, I get a lot of emails, spam, advertising that I can buy my medicines and drugs and everything, all these different websites, a lot cheaper than I can get them here in Nevada.
Possibly it's true. Not all internet sites are cheaper.
No, and that's true. I did a search over the weekend from some Canadian drug sites because there are several states, including Illinois, they're looking to purchase drugs from Canada for their state employees because the cost is so much lower. And in doing that search, I did find that some prices were comparable, but others were 40 to 50% cheaper than they are in this country. Do you take any cutting-edge medicines?
No, I don't. Fortunately, I've been very lucky, knock on wood.
But if you would,
at my age, I don't.
If you would, you are very lucky because I'm in the same boat and I take a lot of them. But if you had to spend a couple $100 a month on medicines, would you think about taking a trip across the border?
It depends on the border. I might think about it going to Canada because I believe the Canadian system of identifying drugs for sale to the public is as good as the FDA system in the United States.
Do you get many reports in your office of people who have been sickened by taking drugs that were not appropriate or
No, we don't.
fakes?
No, we get some, but we don't get a lot of reports, as you say. And I think it's people who like to gamble or play stocks. They don't tell you when they lose.
Oh, they don't want to say that they bought their drugs. Well, aren't they violating the law?
Yes, indeed. Depends on the internet site. There are some internet sites that are certainly appropriate to buy drugs from. They're called VIPS approved, which is Verification of Internet Pharmacy Practices Services, and you can obtain those on websites, and they are legitimate. There's drugstore.com, there's Walgreens, Rite Aid. Many of the chains have internet sites. But we have to differentiate between internet sites and foreign reimportation of drugs, because you can get drugs here not too far from your building is a place that sends your prescription out of the country, and you may get it from a variety of countries, and you have to, it's a real caveat emptor type of circumstance. You have to be very, very, very certain the drug is a good drug.
You know, going to Algodones, which is, as I say, across the border from Yuma, the entire community is based upon supplying inexpensive prescriptions to Americans, inexpensive dental and medical services, because the doctors who live in Yuma travel across the border and have their practices there because it's so much less expensive to practice. And my thought is that for them to not police themselves would be very foolish, because if one person were to die and that story were to get out, they would lose their entire business.
Possibly so. Maybe we haven't heard about the person who's died.
So what exactly does the law say, Keith?
Well, the law essentially says, in Nevada revised statutes, it does say that a person who is a practitioner has some fines if he uses the internet to prescribe without seeing the patient and having talked to the patient within the last 6 months and had a physical exam of that patient. That stops a lot of internet sales immediately. Also, there's an internet pharmacy or a person or corporation or business that has to be licensed in the state if they're to send drugs into the state, and that preempts a lot. You'll see many internet sites that have a little reader at the bottom, "We do not serve Nevada consumers." The reason is Senator Valerie Weiner had a friend who did just as you're talking about. She did not want to get weight loss products from her doctor, so she went through the internet, obtained weight loss products, and she had a medical event that was acute enough to send her to a hospital. And so she was very instrumental in putting in the law to make sure people receive the right kind of health care.
And bottom line, as you said earlier, caveat emptor. Thank you for being here. Please come back. Keith MacDonald is the Executive Director of the State Board of Pharmacy, and we'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Seekh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, the subject of double dipping has been one we've been dealing with for quite a while here on Nevada Newsmakers. Assemblyman Jason Geddes joins us this morning to talk about it.
Good morning. Jason, thank you for being here. That's one thing we like about you is you're not afraid to show up and answer the tough questions. So.
Anytime.
Okay. You work for the university, which is a public entity. You served at the legislature. You took a leave of absence so that you didn't receive pay. But while you were at the legislature, you were being vested in 2 retirement systems, and you got health care from the university, right?
I got my health care from the university, and I paid for my wife and child's health care. So I paid that difference. And the reason I did that was the precedents had been set by Jan Evans in her long tenure in both the legislature and the university system, where the Board of Regents handbook policy states that while you're on administrative leave without pay, you can receive your insurance.
If you had it all to do over again, would you still take the insurance?
No, and I will reject it next time.
Why?
And well,
Why given the precedent?
I had the choice, or not the choice, but given the precedent, I thought everything was fine. Jan Evans had laid it out. She had done it for several years. It seemed like the way to go. When I got elected, I just asked, what do I do? What's the proper procedure here? What's the proper protocol? I went on administrative leave without pay. I did not accrue the retirement, is my understanding. I did not accrue that while I was on leave without pay. I do not accrue sick leave, vacation leave, or the retirement while I'm out. The procedure in the Regents Handbook set up says you can receive the insurance. Just the appearance is why.
Well,
the precedence is there.
Jason, what are you going to do for insurance?
I'll pay for it out of my pocket.
Now, so you can do that. I mean, he can buy insurance on his own out of his pocket.
But through the university system?
I would pay it through the university system. I was looking at taking the time off and paying it through the legislature and what they do there. It's the same program. It's the same price. I had a problem with it would take 90 days for it to become active, and I didn't want to. I was assuming we'd be done in the regular session with no special sessions, and and I thought, that I wouldn't be active on that program until April, and I didn't want to go the 3 months without. So I just went with precedence and what had been set by Jan Evans.
Okay, when you look at this whole shenanigans going on, how does this strike you? I mean, it seems to me that you're doing your level best to be as honest as possible about this whole situation. So how does this strike you at this time?
Well, I think the reaction to government employees and public employees serving, I think it's going a little beyond what it should be. Again, I mean, we stand for election every 2 years. We know what our pay is going in. We know it's low pay. I chose to run knowing that it would be a low-paying position, but it's something that I wanted to do. And it's a service, and it's a sacrifice that you lay out there. And I knew what I was getting into. I think there's a bit of an overreaction based on people's individual actions and what they're doing, and that broad stroke is being painted on all of us.
Jason, do you understand that in our Constitution, the reason why we have a separation of powers, the reason why they don't want public employees from one branch serving in the other, is to have checks and balances. If you don't have the legislative branch casting a wary eye at the judiciary and at the executive branch, then you get collusion. You get the three of them working together, and then you might have the Supreme Court come out and overturn constitutional things that the public had voted for. Oh, they did that, didn't they?
That is a possibility.
I believe a diatribe was just recorded on this program.
But, you know, you have to look at the case, and excuse me. But before I ran, I went and I got the opinion from the Legislative Council Bureau and from the White House Special Counsel that it was okay to serve. I mean, if you look at my particular case, I report to a boss, who reports to a vice president, who reports to a provost, who reports to a president, who reports to a chancellor, who reports to an elected board of regents.
And when their lobbyists come around to see you, it's hard for you to say no to them because they're also your boss.
I tell everybody up front, I say no to anything and anybody. And if you ask me, I mean, one of the bills that we had was AB 392 that dealt specifically with increased pay for state and university employees. And I voted no on it. I didn't think in this year it was the right time for us to be doing a pay raise with the tight fiscal constraint and raising taxes. And I voted no. I mean, is there an inherent conflict there? I think not. You vote the way you should vote, and based on the decision. I have no problem telling the university lobbyists no, and you can ask them. I told them no on several occasions, and did what I felt was best for the residents in my district and for the state of Nevada as a whole in the long term.
Andy, you get the last word.
Well, you can't ask for more than that than saying no to a pay raise.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, let's introduce our panel for today. John Gwaltney joins us, and we also have Paul Enos and Bob Crowell.
Good morning.
Nice to have you all here. We want to continue a little bit of a discussion.
Sam wants to continue.
I want to continue this discussion because I think it's unfair. Okay,
I want our guests to get a word in edgewise, though.
They will have their chance here. When we spoke on the morning show here at Channel 4 this morning, we were talking about this report that was released yesterday in the New York Times.
Actually, it was released Friday.
November 2nd. This is the
I
date
know,
line
they
on the
didn't
story.
print it till
Fine,
yesterday.
let's not worry and quibble here. But it talks about the economy surging in this past quarter. And I'm saying that if the Bush administration gets the blame for when things are bad, that they should be able to take credit for when things are good. And it's not just a press release. And of course, it is a diversion from the war in Iraq. But it's an issue that the Democrats have been jumping on. The economy's bad. The economy's bad. One of the points you raised was, well,
he never takes a breath. You notice that?
the stock market hasn't stopped you from interrupting, though. That the stock market has not responded yet. I checked, and in the last quarter, the stock market has gone from July 25th at 92.84. This is the Dow. And on Friday, it ended at 98.01. So that's a rise of 517 points. That is a pretty decent quarter. People are not complaining in the stock market world about that kind of rise. And they're looking at this continuing unless there's some other kind of major disaster.
You're stopping.
Your turn.
Okay. Oh, thank you. The reality is the stock market didn't budge on Friday. Okay? It didn't move. All this good news, usually something like this comes out and boom, you see an immediate reaction in the stock market. This was all released Friday morning, and there was no change in the stock market whatsoever. It hit at all the networks. News
But
on the
there has been
evening.
a steady growth.
Now, wait, there may be a steady growth, but I'm just saying that these press releases coming out on Friday saying, oh...
What is Andy, I think that the war on terrorism and the war on Iraq is going to benefit the economy, because when you get rid of terrorism and you get rid of these chaotic influences in the world, the economy is bound to do better.
And by the way, my stock market analyst said that when the official war was declared over, that was when the stock market started to take off.
Oh yeah, now listen, I got to tell you, my stockbroker told me, he said, I asked him about the Iraq war. He says, hey, don't worry about it. It's not going to be a long war. It's going to be real short. And technology says that this is a new type of warfare. You don't have to worry. And I think that it's just the opposite, Paul. I think that the war in Iraq will play havoc on our economy and play havoc on politics for years to come. And I think that probably what you're seeing with the stock market on this issue of the economy did surge, but what didn't surge is jobs. And I think that's the underlying weakness that we're seeing here, and I think that's one of the reasons why the stock market didn't make as big a move as you would otherwise expect.
But isn't part of that the efficiency of our workforce
and
our technology?
It absolutely is, but that is one of the biggest problems that I think both Democrats and Republicans are going to have to face next election time, is how you deal with jobs.
John, jump in.
I'm so anxious to get in. I apologize. I will work together. But this is what I teach for a living. I'm a micro and macro economist. So let me just quickly say to you, I've never seen a textbook model more like this. We have pumped money into the economy. The Federal Reserve has the country awash in money. Interest rates have been at the absolute minimum. We've had 2 tax cuts. If this economy doesn't get off its backside, it's dead. I mean, you could literally shoot it in the head. It's dead. So the fear isn't that the economy is recovering, because it is. There's no question about that. 7% growth last quarter is phenomenal. It's best in 35 years. The question here is, are we planting a seed in this economy 24 months from now to see inflation for the first time in a long time? We've pushed the economy so hard that it could be watch your bond sales and so on. Why? Because we could lock in at a bad point.
But the Fed has at this point said that they're going to stay the course with keeping these interests low,
right,
which is helping the auto industry, which is helping the housing industry, and so we're certainly seeing continued growth in those markets. And
right,
certainly in auto, they desperately need it.
You are, but you're not seeing anything in steel. You're not seeing in the steel industry. It's not doing much good there, and I'm not certain you could do a whole lot that's there. This idea of taking credit and not taking credit is an interesting political thing to me, because when on the one argument people say, well, the economy moves in waves, and therefore it's not much one president can do about the other. Well, that just says to me that hey, it doesn't matter who the president is then. So if it doesn't matter who the president is, the economy is going to go up and down no matter what it is, then why is it a political issue? Well, it is a political issue, because people vote their pocketbooks. But
yes, they do vote their pocketbooks, and I think the economy will be in fair shape in the next 18 months. But the issue here is the question of the war itself. The war is probably going to be a very big negative in the election. I think it will be.
I tell you, if we keep pushing the deficit, it's going to be a bigger war. I mean, if we keep pumping $87 billion a year into this economy and driving the deficit like it is, we're going to be bankrupt in this country.
I'm sorry, Bob, but sometimes you need to spend money to prevent things like another 911 from happening. I mean, we spent a huge amount of money for the Marshall Plan in order to stop communists from taking over Europe. I have no problem with investing American dollars into other places in the world that will ensure tyranny does not regain a foothold.
Listen, I have a problem putting a laptop in every Iraqi school when I don't have a laptop in every classroom in my school.
I don't know that that's what they're doing.
But well, to an extent it is, because I think one of my points has been, we talked to Wells Fargo economists and they said that $87 billion was not a huge amount of money in a $1 trillion economy. And my thought is, if it's not that big of an amount of money, let's put $87 billion additional dollars into our country and be able to sustain things like No Child Left Behind and computers, and we're out of time. Right. Hope you've enjoyed this very mellow pundit panel. We'll be right back.
Mellow.
Lori Ann and the staff of St. Ives Florist invite you to a very special occasion. On Saturday, November 15th, you won't want to miss our 12th annual holiday open house and design preview from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The St. Ives family would love to share our magical wonderland with you and your family. St. Ives Florist, simply the finest, hopes your holidays are simply the warmest.
And I look forward to seeing you Saturday, November 15th at our holiday open house.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Big show tomorrow.
Yes, we're going to continue this discussion somewhat because we talked to Senators Ensign and Reed together by satellite from Washington, D.C., and we have a couple of guests to help interview them.
We'll see you tomorrow.